Good evening, everyone. My name is Oscar. Tonight I want to talk to you about how we're going to maximize the performance on the current components on your rear suspension of your motorcycle. So what I want to talk to you about tonight is improving the overall feel of your rear suspension and putting a lot less stress on the shocks you purchase. The first thing I want to show you is it's very important that neither the shock at the pivot, at the frame, or the swing arm bind when it's torqued down and assembled in the bike. And so how do we guarantee we don't bind the assembly when we torque everything down? So the first thing I want to start with the front of the swing arm. And what we have here, I'll take this out here. All these swing arms are a variation of this modern swing arm to vintage swing arms, are same concept. But basically I measured the width of this unit here, and I measured 41, 42 millimeters, and then I pushed the sleeve out. When I measured it, I ended up getting 42.72. So there's about a 1.25 millimeter wider sleeve than the width of the swing arm. So when you push that sleeve through the bushing or needle bearings in this case, and you go to put your axle through. Once I torque this down, it doesn't matter how tight this is, torque-wise, it still pivots because the inner bushing is mathematically wider than the swing arm. In this case, 1 millimeter or so, and it's not enough to give it a lot of side play where you're throwing a chain, but it's enough to keep that pivot clean, keep the torque on. So that's the front of the swing arm. I'll talk about the shocks. Now these shocks, this is my Woods bike. It's a set of work shocks, but it doesn't matter what. They all have some kind of insert that bolts into your swing arm and into your frame. And what you like to do is, get them out, take your bushing out, and clean them. And then sometimes there's another bushing that protects in the works condition. They have a little neoprene bumper to kind of give it cush. So when I measured this, the shock width was 21.7. I made my spacer 22.5, and so wider than the shock itself. And when I put this in, and I assemble it in the swing arm, I have this torqued down, the full amount of torque. Okay, I've got that, and then the same thing top of the frame. The shock pivots very clean. And there's no up and down side to side play, and that pivot's clean. And I know I've done the same. I measured the bushing on top, making sure that the bushing is wider. Now these shocks come with bushings, but they're a one size fits all. You have to be very specific on your frame. I know exactly the width of my swing arm, my opening of my frame. I want to make sure my bushing fits in snug, it doesn't rattle inside the frame, and it's still wider than this. So once you have everything torqued down and you have a clean pivot here, and if you had the shock, you could swing the shock cleanly, it's torqued down, and the swing arm moves cleanly, it doesn't matter what brand of shock you're buying, you're gonna really help out that shock. Find the small bumps, especially coming into corners, braking bumps, or in this case the Woods bike, you come into those corners, there's little roots and stuff. It's gonna be able to feel those first few small bumps and let the bike settle to where you need to get it. It's not going to be like a rigid, stiff feel where the bike's skittish, either in motocross or in the woods. And if you're not buying your suspension, you're going to make whatever shocks you decide to purchase a lot better. So you don't have to go and go back to your shock guy and ask him why it's not working. Make sure you've checked these three components. Do the math. If it's not correct, make your own spacer. Now next time try that, and you'll have a better ride.